Hey guys, this is Hydra from xtrades back with another video, and in this video we're going to go over the 5-minute opening range break. So this is a very simple setup that you can use with along with watching for earning gap up plays, right? So first let's go over earning gap up plays. What are they, right? This is something that I've covered in previous videos, but I'm just gonna touch on it very quickly, right? So earning gap ups are a sign that a major trend reversal is coming into a stock, right? So let's take Snapchat as an example. So Snapchat had its first earning gap up all the way here, right? So before that, let's zoom out a little bit. So this is Snapchat, right? It's pretty much just basing from its IPO, or since IPO, it was pretty much just basing and in a downtrend, right? And then here you get the first big earnings gap up here, right? So look at this volume bar and compare it to the other volume bars, right? So this is the volume bar here, this big green candle, big earnings gap up, huge volume, right? Look at the volume bars before that. This candle was a skyscraper compared to the ones before it, before it, right? So, and then this one opened at $15 and closed around 17. So over a 10% gain just from the open. So if you can figure out a way to enter the position or enter your position within like the beginning of the day, you can make a pretty, or you can find a pretty big move on that day itself, right? But if you zoom out and look at the big picture, this move is what triggered this entire move, right? So this is almost a 70% gain in less than 3 months. And if you zoom out even more, you realize that this is just the start, right? You get another big earnings gap up, this time with even more volume than the previous one, right? A significant increase in volume again. So this is a sign that institutions are basically loading up into the stock. And so you get one earnings gap up, two earnings gap up, and then you get more follow through. And then this one ends up topping out all the way at $83, right? So if you look at the start point, which is 15 to 83, that's a 450% move, right? Pretty insane. And if you can figure out how to use the 5-minute opening range break to enter on this initial day, that's a huge risk reward setup, right? So yeah, that's basically what we're going to cover in this video, how to basically enter these gap up on day one using the 5-minute opening range break setup. So this is actually very simple. So let's go through a 5-minute chart example here, right? So this is the first 5-minute bar of the day today, and this is the 5-minute bar high, and this is the 5-minute bar low. Pretty simple so far, right? So the 5-minute opening range break is basically you go long if the 5-minute opening range break or if the first 5-minute candle high breaks, and then you go short if the first 5-minute candle lows break. That's it, right? So for example, today you would want to go short on this candle when it broke the previous candle, the first 5-minute bar lows. So you would be short around that 11.76 level, and then stop loss would be 11.96. So you can use this opening range break setup either for the long side or to the downside. It works either way. So let's take a look at some actual examples, some recent examples. So Rubrik is a recent IPO, and this one had a big earnings gap up recently. So let's look at that 5-minute candle, right? So this was this was the big gap up, right? This was the first 5-minute candle, and all you would do is, this is the buy point and this is the stop loss point, right? So if once it crosses this 5-minute opening range, this first 5-minute candle high, you buy. So on this candle you buy as soon as it takes out that 67.75 level, and then stop loss is set to here, right? So if you did that, your entry would have been 67.74, and the stock is progressing pretty nicely so far, right? So that's a 10% move in a couple bars. So far this one's acting well, but this is a great real life example of exactly how you would use the 5-minute opening range bar. But yeah, let's take a look at some more recent examples of how well these gap ups work, right? So let's take a look at AAOI. So the stock was consolidating for quite some time, right? Started building its right side of the base and then pulled back in, and then on this candle had a big gap up, right? Previous close was 17.93 and then the open was 19.5. So got a decent gap up here, around 10%. And then if you were able to enter on that 5-minute opening range break, like let's pretend it was around like 21, right? That is 104% gain in less than a month, right? Pretty insane. So yeah, this is a great example. And then here's another earnings gap, or not earnings, a gap up, right? And then you could also enter on this candle itself, and then that would be a 40% gain in like 2 weeks, right? So a lot of potential for these setups in terms of risk reward. Let's take a look at some more. A-Lab is another one. So this one had a big earnings gap up here. I think the entry was around like $90. I don't remember for sure, but let's just estimate, right? Using the 5-minute opening range break, entry was around $90. Stop loss was around 6%, the low of the day, right? So this one ended up consolidating. It almost stopped us out, right? So stop loss would be the low of the day. So it almost stopped us out, but this one ended up bouncing a lot higher and it's progressing very, very well, right? So from the initial entry, you're up around 40% in around a month, right? So another good example. App, this is the stock that has been absolutely killing it this year. This one had multiple earning gap ups. This is the first one in February. It looks so long ago, but yeah. This was the first earning gap up, right? And then another earning gap up, I think. And then here was a really, really big earnings gap up. So again, you could have used the 5-minute opening range candle on this candle to enter on day one. And let's say your entry was around like 245. That's a 70% move in a very, very short period of time. So again, this works very, very well for momentum names especially. This is another recent gap up. Let's take a look at this 5-minute opening range candle. So this was the first 5-minute candle, right? So you buy if it takes out the 5-minute candle high, you short if it takes out the 5-minute candle low. And this one broke, so you buy on this candle, right? So entries are around 20.77, stop loss is at 19. And then yeah, this one has been working nicely so far, right? That is a 25% gain in a couple of days. So pretty insane, right? So yeah, like I said before, this works very, very well in momentum names. Let's just take a look at some more examples of just gap ups in general, right? GEV, this is a big winner recently. This one gapped up on this day, right? And from there, that's a 60% move, right? And then this one offered multiple opportunities. Here was another small gap up. And then again, 22% move. Let's take a look at a couple more. IONQ. So this one had a nice gap up here, right? But it didn't actually end up triggering the 5-minute candle high, or 5-minute high, or the first 5-minute candle high. And then the next day it triggered that, it broke that, right? So as soon as it crossed that first 5-minute candle high, this was buyable the next day. And then yeah, this one pretty much just took off like a rocket. This one went up 130% almost in a very, very short period of time, in a month. Let's take a look at a couple more. LMND. So this is the first gap up, right? If you bought it anywhere on that day using the 5-minute opening range break, that's 125%, 130% move in less than a month, right? And this one offered many, many opportunities. There was another gap up, another gap up, another gap up, right? MicroStrategy, this one had a very nice gap up here, so this was buyable. Oklo, this one had a small gap up over here, but it was buyable. A nice double in a short period of time. Oracle, this one had a big gap up here, right? Let's pretend you bought it around 160. This one went to 198, 25% move. Pretty good for a big cap name like Oracle. Roblox. This one also had a big gap up here, and then it almost stopped this out, right? The stop loss would be at this candle's low. Almost tested that level, but bounced off. And it's making a nice recovery. SoFi, this one had a nice gap up over here, right? So if you entered around $10, that's a 67% move from the highs. And then another example, this one is a recent AI related name that had a huge gap up here and pretty much just took off 50% move in like 2 days, right? So yep, I think that those were enough examples, and I think you guys get the idea now. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Discord. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
There's a reason why xTrades is currently the fastest growing application on the market for sharing financial ideas. With over $2.5 million paid in the last 2 years to contributors, users are flocking to see what trades the top traders on the leaderboard are sharing in real time. If you're looking to grow your reputation as a trader on the internet or discuss your trading ideas with other reputable investors, click the link below and get connected with a trading mentor today, completely free of charge.